Good morning and welcome to the fourth day of the week. Welcome to Thursday. Here it is. We're well on our way onto the third day of December, and it is Thursday, and here we are working into our fourth day of our return to the book of Hosea after a week of devotions over the idea of Thanksgiving. So we continue to touch on that idea of turning and returning, looking at the very detailed, defined complaint of the Lord, which is a revelation. He's taking so many hidden things, things that are within the hearts of his people, things that are lurking in the depths of their imagination, and he's bringing it out in the open to show them what exactly is going wrong and what will go wrong, to warn them and to do everything that he can to pull them to himself and to redeem them. So his intention in this whole process, destruction is so much easier than redemption. You think about that. How long does it take to destroy a house? Give me a couple hours, just a couple hours. The house I live in right now, give me just a couple hours and a backhoe. That's all I need. A backhoe, and I can have this house completely down on the ground, much of it broken up and put into a construction dumpster. Give me one of those big track hoes with the big power claw. The claw. Give me the big power claw, and I can be shredding things up. And two construction dumpsters, and I think I could have this lot that I'm on, an empty lot, a clean slab, and all of the brick facade, siding, hardy board siding, electrical piping, everything, all in a dumpster within a day. Won't take long at all. But how long did it take for this house to be built? I wasn't the first owner, but in 2008, when they began building this house, perhaps there was somebody who saw the plans and bought it and then drove by every week just to see the progress. And there was a hole in the ground and trenches, and then a slab was poured, and next thing you know, all of a sudden, bam, within a week, all of the 2x4s and 2x6s and 2x8s were nailed up. Sheathing was placed over it, and I'll bet there was a roof put on it, probably within a week to a week and a half's time. And you're thinking, wow, now we're really making progress. And then it seems to slow to a dead stop, because you have to get the brick contractor and the hardy board siding contractor and the guttering contractor, and then you have to get the wiring pulled and the plumbing pulled and all those permits and inspections, and then you put up the sheetrock and the insulation, then the sheetrock, and then you have to texture it and paint it, and then it really gets slow because somebody's doing the trim and the cabinets and installing the cabinets and the finish hardware and mounting the doors and all that other stuff and putting on the finishing coats of paint, and then finally the flooring contractors come in and tiling, linoleum, carpeting is finally installed, and eventually the final inspection is made, everything is done, and a brand new home is ready to be moved into. But it takes months and months, sometimes as long as a year, to get that done. Well, destruction can be done in a day, but building and construction can take a year, just in a house. So why am I sharing that with you? Well, I feel inspired. It's to say that the Lord takes time in our life because he's working with our will, he's working with our stubbornness, and we find that God is more willing to restore and to renew than he is to destroy. Destruction is easy. If his motive was to destroy, you would already be gone. If his motive with Israel was to destroy, Israel would have been finished. But instead, he's engaged in a process. Why? He's in a process because he's in a process of calling them to turn and return to him. He's in the process of redemption. But let's hear what he has to say to Israel and Judah, and at the same time realize this is a timeless word and can speak to us today. Hosea chapter 8, verses 4 through 7. They set up kings without my consent. They choose princes without my approval. With their silver and gold they make idols for themselves to their own destruction. So this is a picture of failing to consult with God first. Acknowledge the Lord in all of your ways, and he will make your paths straight. So what does Israel do? They basically say, we don't need Yahweh to tell us which man needs to be our king. We have eyeballs and brains. We can do it ourselves. Now, what does that speak to us? If we're not careful, we say, well, I've got this, Lord. I can handle this. I've got eyeballs and a brain. I can figure out what I need to do. But that's not what needs to happen, because we're talking about wisdom, knowing the ways of the Lord, and that's something we just don't have down. And so out of respect and out of relationship, we can come to the Lord and say, what do you have for me, Lord? What would you like to do? And we make him the first priority, and then we have his guidance and direction as we go into the selection of our leadership. He says that they have the resources, so they make idols for themselves to their own destruction. So they take the thoughts of their hearts, bring them out into idolatry, and begin to worship them. Why? Simply because they can. They have the resources. But the question they really need to be asking, and we need to be asking today, is should we? Not can we, or will we? Those are two questions of ability and desire. But should we? Morality. And Israel had abandoned the all-important should. Samaria, throw out your calf idol. My anger burns against them. How long will they be incapable of purity? They are from Israel. And so the Lord has a much better plan in mind for them, and instead they have gone back to Egypt in their hearts because they're back to the golden calf. They set up calf idols. That was hundreds of years ago that they left Egypt and God had delivered them, but now they take that symbol and continually lift it up in the land of Canaan, which is a land that can only be tamed under the tutelage of God, the King of glory, and they are trying it their own way. This calf, a metal worker has made it. It is not God. It will be broken in pieces, that calf of Samaria. We silly humans have a way of not really thinking very clearly, especially when we're left to ourselves. But if we will wait upon the Lord and focus first upon him, he has a way of illuminating the foolishness of our heart and counseling with us and showing how this is really not the way. So our meditation today would be this question and something to think about. Are there places in my life where I'm having difficulty turning or returning to the Lord because I think I have it handled? I have two eyes and a brain, and I can look to the people around me and they seem to be doing okay. These are the kind of mentalities that was absolutely tearing Israel apart. Why? Because they weren't just anybody. They were the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. God had a covenant with them, and they had a destiny and purpose that God had in mind for them. And he was doing everything he was doing in order to draw them to himself, to reason with them, and to reveal himself and his plan to them. His aim was not destruction, but correction, turning around, and blessing. So where are you convinced, and where am I convinced in my life that God is against me because he wants to destroy me, and I need to have a change of mind? Let me suggest this. There are places in your life that God is against you, and he's against me in my life because he has a plan of redemption, and he's just trying to get my attention, and he's just trying to get me focused upon him so that he can then do a creative work, a transformative work, a redeeming work, which is a work which takes time and effort and resources, grace, to do it. He is so good. He has a plan, not to harm us, but to increase us and to bless us. But it's only as we turn and return to him. So Lord bless you. Have a great day. As you think about that, maybe something in there is just stuck to your ribs and will be sticking with you all day. And with that, I pray grace and peace upon you as you consider the word of the Lord. Have a great day. See you tomorrow.